Live streaming is on.
Share screen. All right. So what's going on here? So the first thing I want to do, obviously, is link our trajectories. One.
Yeah, doing that. Here. You want me to copy and paste the trajectories?
No. All right. So the primary goal is like getting agreement on the prime trajectory. We know why that's important, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So we need to cover that. So basically, if you looked at our options basically came down to methodology, or basically I was also starting to propose income and methodology, right? So that's where we got to so far. Does that make sense in terms of like our top priorities? I don't know if you actually voted. Did you ever vote? But
No, I didn't. I vote on some, but no.
right. Well, I figured like the ones that you did voted on were probably the ones you're most interested. But anyways, the bottom line is that from our talking and everything, it really came down to those kind of three concepts. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, methodology including work organizing and these kind of things.
Yeah, I understand. All right. So, but methodology is obviously a lot more than just work organizing, right? You follow me?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what's really cool about trajectories is trajectories can be anything, right? You can define a trajectory as literally anything that you can imagine, and then that's the direction that you want to go. So I was thinking a lot about this and basically thought about a model of a trajectory that I feel like might be exactly what we've been talking about in terms of, something that we're both can agree on, but more importantly, something that we're actually excited about and really want to prioritize. Okay.
Okay.
So the most, oh, did you have anything?
Excuse me?
I thought you were about to say something. Okay,
No.
so let me find my notes here. Okay. So the bottom line is that income is kind of stale and boring, right? It doesn't really address like anything except for the income, and we know, like, what does income really mean without what we're doing with the money, right? So for me,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's why I asked you. Sorry for interrupting. That's why I asked you to have clarity. That I mean, if income, it's gonna be an umbrella trajectory, right? Definitely an umbrella trajectory. I mean, income is definitely, it cannot be our prime trajectory for sure.
Okay, that's why we're talking. Okay, that's why we're talking right now. So just give me a couple minutes. Let me make this, pre-proposal. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The pre-proposal is that instead of just our income opportunities, right? So it's our income opportunities, but it's not necessarily just all of our income opportunities. It's like specific it's these specific opportunities we want to focus on. Okay, so we're saying like that our income opportunity should be more than just SVG, right? So basically, in my mind, our income opportunities, we have like at least 5 options, possibly more. and we should consider all of our options, and we should narrow them down, and that our prime trajectory includes the specific income opportunities that we want to focus on as a team. But it would most likely be more than one. I'm proposing all 5, but we could narrow it down. The idea is like, whatever we can agree on, but probably more than just SVG. Does that make sense so far, as the first part?
Yeah, I'm following.
So then the next thing is that, and again, I don't have a name for the trajectory yet. I just have these will be all the sub-trajectories. So our sub-trajectory of this trajectory would include our income opportunities. It would also include the finances, of getting our finances in order, right? So we need to have our finances in order, right? It's unacceptable for our finances to not be in order, because it's just a disaster, right? So our finances must be in order, and this would include taxes, right? It's just we can't not have our taxes in order, et cetera, right? In addition to that, it would include all financial and monetary policies, right? So it wouldn't be all policies and all methodology. It would be monetary policies and financial policies related to our income, our taxes, et cetera, et cetera. It would also must include value distribution, which would be all of our reimbursements, payrolls, tokens, equity, budget, but not all tokens, right? It would only be the specific minimums needed for this trajectory, right? So it would include how can we simplify and build our, maybe just one token, maybe one set of equity and token with our clear payroll and our budget all kind of connected together. So it's this is our value distribution, right? So the general overall concept of the trajectory would be, money comes into the organization, gets organized, and goes out, right? And it's all documented and verified. And it's all documented and verified by governments, right? So the general idea of the overall, trajectory is that it's not just about income, because income just coming to the organization is not the goal. It's about bringing the money in, organizing all the money, and then making sure the money goes out properly as part of our value distribution. Because the whole point of bringing the money in is to distribute the money, based on our values and our operations of actually working. So from there, including other components, would be, I'm not going into this is kind of the overview of the trajectory, but if you went over the actual sub trajectories, and I'm almost done here, the sub trajectories also obviously would include our finances, our income / accounts receivable, right? It includes our taxes, it includes training and onboarding, it includes personnel support / HR, it includes recruitment, right? It includes our tokens, it includes investments, it includes bills, and it includes tactical ops. These would be all the these would be all the sub trajectories. But what's important to understand is that, for example, some of these training, onboarding, recruitment, tactical ops, let's put these all, even the tokens, right? These ones we're not saying that all tokens, all tactical ops, all training, onboarding, all personnel support, all recruitment, it's not all of it. It's just the minimum needed to support the trajectory, right? And so the trajectory is basically, another way of thinking at it is the scope and end result of this trajectory would be a single, clear, focused, and cleaned. This would be an umbrella system that ensures simple income, dealing with the income, the organization of the money and processes within our team, and the outflow of the funds and value distributions, right? Which obviously has to include scaling, like it must include scaling so that we know and understand our recruitment systems, our budget systems, all of it, right? So it's basically one single umbrella system that fully encapsulates the funds coming in, the client work, the actual, income presentation to the public. The funds come in, we address the funds, we function as a operating unit, as an organization. We have all the policies and everything, the minimum we need for this trajectory and that specific amount of income and these particular processes and organizational. And we distribute the money out, and that's it. That's the entirety of the trajectory, right? So the idea is to get one single model as a super system so that it's all cleared, and basically we can just keep honing it down and honing it in until ideally it'll just be like a perfectly oiled machine, right?
Yeah.
And then I think the only other thing here is that, there's a whole condense and build an umbrella system that interconnects the program's income to the value distribution, all the internal ops that make it all happen. So that's a good one. And then leave out everything that is not specific to the budget in this team. Right? So we're basically cutting everything else out. Right? So that's pretty much it as far as the beginning of the idea of this proposal. And so then from here it would be, okay, what would be included in the trajectory and what would not be included in the trajectory? Because obviously the vast majority of everything is not included, but obviously it would include a lot of things. So it's very similar to the current, money support and money category, but it's not exactly that because it adds a lot of other things too. But it adds them in a very specific way. And so we'd want to go through everything. We would want to clean it all up, streamline it, simplify everything, and most importantly, connect it all together as a single umbrella system, right? So the idea is that there'd be one system, and through that system, you could really streamline a lot of the operational tactical operations, management systems, so that you're not duplicating tasks, at least for this particular budget, income source, and in super systems, so that it's fully functional. So anyways, that's the general concept. But let me go ahead and copy over some of the other details in the notes that I missed.
All right. So a couple of questions first before I can elaborate my thoughts. So the trajectory is not a goal, right?
Of course, the goal. The goal is a very, very specific goal. Let me copy and paste this last sentence here. It's actually, oops.
Okay, the prime trajectory is a goal, and yes, and it must be very specific, right?
No, that's just the name of the trajectory.
But it should be as specific as possible.
Yeah, the name of the trajectory should be as specific as possible. So, for example, here we go, trajectory. So one example of the name that I wrote down was, and again, there's no limit to what the name can be, right?
So I've been thinking, right? So, for example, all this. So
here's the sentence, which is basically kind of like the goal. So I'll put this here, which is line 50. Let's do line 60. So it's kind of like a beginning of a goal, right? So it's kind of like building this umbrella system would be the goal, and then the name that I would be finances, income, taxes, value, organized and smooth. Right? Getting our finances, income, taxes, and value organized and smooth, right? Like that's basically the trajectory right there.
Finances, Okay.
So basically, or you could say, the other term that we've been using is money, but money is a slightly more limited than what I'm talking about because it's not just about the money. It's about not the methodology. It's about the management structures, the responsibility organizing, the systems, the team comprehension and cohesion, the team dynamics for implementing this income, bringing the income in, organizing all the money within our team, and then distributing that money out so that everyone's getting paid, including eventually our the investors, as well as like the tokens and everything. That the whole system is functional, and it's an umbrella system, and we want the whole thing to be functional and smooth and organized for this one small component of the network, right? So I would say this would represent, less than 25% of the network or of the vortex that we're building. And so we're going to try to cut out everything else that we're not doing and just build like a small version that's then scalable and replicable so that we can replicate it for future income sources and future projects and future budgets. So we just want to downsize everything to this one single umbrella system that deals with just these income sources, this budget, this recruitment strategy for scaling as needed, this particular, system, so that it's organized and smooth, but it wouldn't address all policies. It wouldn't address all, like, the entire network. It wouldn't address the overall multimedia. It would only address for these particular goals, right, under this particular trajectory.
Right. So what I see all how the umbrella system should work. What would be the priorities, and that's all like organized into the umbrella trajectories and the normal trajectories. I mean, the prime trajectory should be like the canopy of the whole thing, right? That's that and should be very, very clear to everybody, right? So, for example, give me a minute here, right? So there is a very good definition to. So since we clarified that the name should represent like of the prime trajectory can and is intended also to represent a goal, right? That we are currently wanna focus on. So a good way to
there's nothing that states that the goal needs to be in the name. It can just be like the goal can be written as part of the trajectory, right? So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, but
responsibility, it's a trajectory. A trajectory can literally have 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, so let's start. Okay, so let's leave for the moment the name in standby. Name in standby, right? So
well, that's the idea of this proposal. Is that we could potentially build the sub trajectories and build the overall understanding of this trajectory before we have the actual name, and the name will come.
Yeah, I agree with you. So what I want to do is to define a goal, right? That we wanna by building this prime trajectory model, this vortex model we wanna. So the goal should be, as they say, and I think I like it, smart. Smart in sense is specific, right? So a specific goal for me would be like, for example, then we can define that better. But US dollars, 10 millions under management, which could be different from different income sources, right? But like under managed, we are, or maybe there's a better word. 10 millions under management. Then measurable. So measurable means I don't know. I mean, measurable. How can we measurable? We can see that, but attainable. So attainable. Attainable, and then we have reasonable, and timely. So maybe by 12 months from now. Reasonable. Let me see again. Smart goals. So smart goals means smart it's S is specific, measure, achievable, realistic, and achievable, realistic, relevant, and time-based. Time-based. Okay, so I was wrong, right? So time-based. Okay, time-based. I mean, I think 1 year, right? 12 months. Time-based, achievable, and what was the R was relevant. Relevant. So, for example, the specific could be specific. Okay, this is measurable. Specific. Build an umbrella system for the vortex model to be successful. Then measurable, $10 million under management, or in income sources, or I don't know what I mean, that we deal with about $10 million per month under management per month. Then achievable, let me see what they want to say. Confirm your goal is realistic and attainable. The goal set must be realistic, coincide with time and budget. In the achievable section, we talk about the specific measure. So achievable, I mean,
when we aren't we skipping over, like, 10,000, 100,000, all those 1 million, or isn't it skipping all the way to $10 million per month a little bit fast?
Yeah, no, I'm just making an example that what I mean, 10 million, we want to do 1 million, but I mean, whatever we choose, I'm just trying to create something that is, I mean, all this, the income and this and the things, I think they can be like the umbrella trajectories, or the umbrella system, how we want to do it. But the prime trajectory should be really something that, okay, so now we're focused in this is the trajectory because we want to reach this very specific, measurable, achievable, relevant goal, right? Relevant is because, I mean, achievable, what can you say? I mean, we have J. Okay. And relevant because we're focusing on social improvements, right? Improvements and social value, right? And generating social value. Generating social value. So basically, if I take this, I say I would say the prime trajectory should be build, make the making, right? Because it's an experience, making the vortex model successful by building an umbrella system led by Jay's vision and I don't know, professionalism. I don't know, professionalism. Led by Jay's vision and professionalism to acquire a minimum of $1 million under management within 12 months through generating consistent social value. I don't know, something like this, but maybe this is way too long.
Okay, so what I have a few things I wanted to respond, but you can keep going if you wanted to.
No, I'm done.
Okay, so I mean, basically, I feel like this is good in theory, but actually proposing it and talking about it, it might be just a little bit too much for like a trajectory, and maybe we should go with something a little simpler. So I did think of something that's a little bit simpler and straightforward, and just like, in some ways achieves exactly the same goal, as far as like what the prime trajectory would be. And so that is what we've been talking about a whole bunch, which is that, right, before obviously the prime trajectory was SVG, right? So for like basically 6 months, SVG was our prime trajectory. So maybe instead of going to like,
and it's inspiring. Like SVG is inspiring. If you say income, or you say, it's a bit, it should be very inspiring as well. Like it, what did you say? Ignites. You used a very good. It ignites. Let's see the notes.
Yeah, sure. But anyways, let me just finish what I was going to say. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
But anyways, but if you think about what SGV was,
Excitement.
basically the trajectory of SGG, it still is and was the website and getting agreement on the website, right? Because the essence of SGG is this website that is a professional presentation of FQN, right? Which is very exciting. So maybe the way to move forward is just a very simple modification from our previous trajectory, which is simply the umbrella FQV showcase website, and that would just be the proposal, right? So the idea would be the proposal for the prime trajectory is this new website that would be an umbrella for whatever we're building, like FQV, and that the SVG would be one of the showcase projects, along with the sponsorship program and the the life support slash support alliance, and that would basically be the trajectory. And then to make this trajectory successful, the SMART goals, having clarity on all of our methodologies and getting organized with all of the work and the income and the value distribution, all of that is obviously applicable to launching this new umbrella FQN showcase website, right? Because basically we're just taking one small step from what we had before, which is the SVG website, and stepping it up. And this is why it's so important to know where you've come from. If we all agreed that the previous and current prime trajectory is and was SVG website, then the easy, slight veering off course is doing the umbrella FQV showcase website as like the primary goal, which would include a few sub websites that would be showcased on it.
Yeah.
That's just another that could be exciting. I mean, if the SCG website is exciting, the umbrella FQV showcase website should be very exciting, because it'll pull everything together and present it in a way that is very professional and organized, and something that we can actually be proud of, so that people can understand what we do, and we can bring in money.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, what I was really said, I mean, something that makes me ignite excitement, get us happy, make us resonate, is something like this, maybe. Functional or policy-based, I don't know, I mean, policy-based vortex model to generate several income sources showcased on our umbrella FQF website. Something like this, I don't know. Because I mean, if the umbrella FQ showcase website is our prime trajectory, it's I mean, it takes away the focus a bit on the income, right? On which is I think the income in a way should be included in the prime trajectory, but it shouldn't be like the main component or the main aspect of the prime trajectory. I mean, the main aspect of the prime trajectory should be something that makes income a consequence.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that what the SVG website? Like, I love this idea of getting agreement on what was our prime trajectory, right? So I think you have to start with where are we now, which in this case is also where were we? Where were we? And if where we were was the SVG website, the SVG website literally was our prime trajectory, then the website itself is the vehicle that gives us access to clients in the professional community to build that income source.
More than the SVG website, our prime trajectory was the SVG launch.
Which was the website.
Yeah. But it was the overall launch, because if you say to me SVG website,
the SVG website launch, right? Because the launch of SVG was the launch of the website and everything we needed to do to get the website ready. I mean, 90% plus of the work was the website, and then everything else is basically a little paperwork, right? In terms of our equity and our value and our, general services. But that was like our 2-pager, So really the website was the focus of everything that we were doing, and that was what was exciting, is that and I think people are excited about it, that it unites us and brings us forward, and like that's
yeah, exactly, because this is a great prime trajectory, because the SVG website launch is we know, I mean, this is our prime trajectory because the SVG website launch means a bunch of sub trajectories, like income at first, but creating social values, working to improve the world by helping non-profits being set up, or social organizations become organized and functional. And this is all very exciting. Yeah, so that's a great prime trajectory at the SVG website launch. So this we should now that we said, all right, that's one component, but we don't want to be just focused on that. We want to create more potential income sources, and we don't want to lose the focus on our basics, our North Star, and anything. I think, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it should be something that really drives you and makes you very excited and happy. And so
I was going over our the 5, the 5 potential, or let's just do 6 potential, because we're talking about 6 potential income sources, right? So of the 6 potential income sources, there is SVG, which is basically, this clients, right? Actually, I think I have this easily copyable.
I have it. Yeah, if you want.
Well, no, I wrote it all in the way that I want to have it. So it's like
okay.
This. So you've got client work, you've got investments, grants, fundraising, sponsorship, and then the other one is the e-commerce, or whatever we called it, right?
Yeah.
So, or this would happen as part of what is it? Fundraising, right? Fundraising. Actually, I don't know how that would work. We'll work that out. Or maybe we could call it activity, right, or something like that. Activity, whatever. But the point is that client work, investments, and grants all come under SVG, right? So at least half of our potential income sources all come under and are presented to the public through SVG. And that's what's important about SVG. So whenever we start talking about fundraising, sponsorship, and or e-commerce, right, which might be under fundraising, I don't really know. We have to figure out how we want to do that. These would be the only separate things that involve income. Like the life support program and the support alliance is just not for income. It needs to be included in the Umbrella Showcase website. I mean, in the methodology, if we decide to include methodology, the methodology proposal, and the whole presentation of our vision on the SQV Showcase website, that's great. But again, it has nothing to do with direct income, right? It might relate to one of our fundraising campaigns, but the idea is that the actual direct income, there's 6 current options on the table, and half of those fall under SVG. So showcasing SVG is the primary functionality for our income options. And then the second one is the sponsorship website. So we have these websites, so we could say status of website. This is basically almost ready to launch, right? So SVG website is almost ready to launch, and the sponsored website is basically the same because it exists already, it works, and it's available, right? So that means that the only things that aren't necessarily ready to launch, right? So this is like, started but not ready. E-commerce, obviously, not even started, right? So in my mind, the only website that is not started that we would need for the Umbrella FQV Showcase website launch is the life support and the sponsorship website. But again, that's not related to income. Does that make sense?
Life support, and what was the other one?
The Support Alliance and life support, right?
Okay, yeah.
Are the same thing, right? The Support Alliance is kind of the umbrella for life support. So I think life support is a perfectly fine name, but some people don't really like life support. And so the Support Alliance kind of umbrellas the whole concept of life support, that you have life support, you have org support, you've got personnel support, you've got all these different types of support systems, legal support, whatever the support is, it all comes back to life support. Like life support is the fundamental core of all of it because it's all about people's lives, But the Support Alliance, like you could have environmental support, you can have, animal support and other types of support that aren't based on human life, planetary support, right? All of these things can be related to the Support Alliance, So the Support Alliance, and you can also support objects and places and things, as opposed to just people and lives. But the point is that I'm trying to make is that that's not really focused on income.
Right. Yeah.
Right. The focus of that could be a selling point for a fundraising campaign, but then the fundraising campaign itself is the income, and that's where the fundraising comes in. So I do want to do the fundraising. I think it's important. But again, of the 6 potential income sources, we already have websites ready to go for 4 of them. Right?
Correct. So this implies, so if our prime trajectory would be Umbrella FQV Showcase website launch, or here I made another option, Umbrella FQV Income Sources Showcase website launch, this implies that in order to launch the website, all these income sources should be green and ready to go.
Only the ones that we agree to want to put on the website, which is basically like I don't know if we need fundraising or e-commerce. Like I don't necessarily think that we need that. So for me, the income sources is not the problem. For me, the focus is in the Umbrella FQV Showcase website. For me, is not the income. Like the goal of showcasing the website and all of our programs that we want to put on the website really has nothing to do with income, right? You have SVG and you have sponsorship, right? But then from there, the primary focus is what's not related to income, which would be our Support Alliance and
they also go on the Showcase website. Yeah,
they have to go on the website, and then we might also want to present our vision and methodology, right, which is extremely valuable as a resource, right?
And the vortex model.
The vortex model and all of it. Like we could begin the process of presenting that as a resource, and then of course we want to create a list. Like those are the 3 that are like for sure. Like this would be for sure, right? For sure. These are just like requirements, and then we can create a list of all the other possible showcase websites, but we don't necessarily have to include them, Right. So again, the create a list of all the other possible things that we could get agreement on, right? This is there's like community equity, right? That's obviously an option. There's parallel governance, and then I'm working on tons of other projects and things that we could also include. So, we could even have, Unity theory, right? I mean, I don't think that it's ready, but that's, if we wanted to have Unity theory on there, we could. The point is that whatever we do agree to have on there, we would want to have it fully, like the goal would be, one of the goals would be to get agreement on the minimal needs for preparing the showcase on the Umbrella FQV showcase website. Like, what is the minimal that we would want to include in order to launch, right?
Yeah. No, here I'm aligning with you. I'm getting on the same page with you, Jay, on this. Yeah. I need. Yeah. I'm sorry. I need to go to the bathroom. Can we take a quick break?
Yeah, take a 5-minute break.
Yeah. Thank you. Sorry.